Okay, weekly updates for the middle of the month in February. So this week for TradeLab, we had a couple things going on. As a holdover from last week, we still have the test environment getting deployed. The holdup with that has been transferring our authentication code from Firebase over to Amazon. So we're actually tackling sort of two tasks in one while we're doing this, and it was sort of kind of required in order for us to move forward the way that we want to. And so that's what we're doing right now. Miles has been working on the Cognito integration so that we can move forward with that. Once that's ready, we'll have the testnet up and we'll be able to have everybody sign up for the testnet. It will be separate. It was always going to be a separate account. And then you'll be able to transfer your strategies over, like import them. And we'll run a script to do that. So still have that going. Besides that, what we have also been working on, with the Cognito, one thing that I haven't mentioned is we'll be having two-factor authentication. I think we're going to have that as optional. I made it pretty clear that I wanted to keep it optional so you can turn it on, and I do recommend that you turn it on, but I always hate when people force me to do anything. So so I wanted to make sure it was optional. But besides that, we're looking pretty good with the position tracking issues that we've had. So we've had a couple people report different issues with position tracking in different ways. And I've actually, over the course of this week, found 3 different things that I believe have contributed to the position problems that we've had. One of them was a simple fix for Bybit, making sure that the first fix was making sure that we, if we got a refresh from the API, that we just replaced all of the data that we were getting from the WebSocket so that there was no transfer duplicate and there was no messing up of the overwriting or anything like that. So I did that to simplify it. And then I found on Binance that a reduce only issue where I thought I was sending reduce only orders, but in some instances when you had hedge mode off, I think I wasn't sending reduce only orders, and that ended up making it to where some of the TPSL lines weren't behaving properly. So I fixed that, and along with that, I also ended up getting Binance and Bybit to properly close. It might work on other exchanges. I haven't tested it yet, but I know Bybit and Binance, they properly close TPSL when we finally calculate the P&L when a trade is closed. So even if the trade closes on the exchange side, when we go to calculate our final P&L, we also cancel any lines that are open. So those shouldn't remain open anymore. So we did make the update to Bybit, to Binance, and then I made another discovery just a couple nights ago of something that has basically been around for what I believe to be a couple weeks now, and since TPSL was introduced, and that has created a lot of the phantom problems that I've been trying to chase. And the reason that it's hard to explain without getting really technical, but it fits the bill. Like, it explains why I couldn't find it, because it would sometimes happen and sometimes not, and only if this was going on, and it would look like things should be working, but not really. Was able to find that finally. In fact, I think it was So who brought me the reproducible, and I was very excited to find that. So that is making me feel like we have a much better platform right now. I was sort of running around past couple weeks trying to patch all the holes and all that, and now I feel like things should be feeling better. There's still things that we're going to be working on, but that's one of the big ones. I also did work on Bybit closed P&L, and I have been working on the P&L a little bit here and there for different exchanges. As we get the P&L dialed in more and more, I think that's going to be another big check off the list. So yeah, besides that, I'm working on the builder. I have still a lot to do on the builder. Really need to get my head down and get focused on that instead of chasing all these issues that I have been. But hopefully a lot of these are fixed, and so I can get some work done and get on track there. So other than that, I think that's it. We're going to get the testnet up, and I'm working on the builder, and that's it. Give me 2 seconds, and we'll do a round of questions real quick.
I think you were mentioning last time, I didn't really get a chance to hop on the last segment you had, but did you have a thing where you were showing people how to do the break-even stuff? Have you gotten that all working?
Yes. Yes, I do. So, in fact, we are in the break-even example right now.
Nice.
So there is 2 different videos out there. So if we look here, actually, I'd like to. Actually, I don't know that I've added them yet. That's a good question. Have I? I don't think I have. Shame on me. Okay, so I'll have to add those. They're the newest videos. If we go over to YouTube, we can see that I have a detailed break-even and an easy break-even example. So this one is like a 5-minute video, and this is a 20-minute video.
You don't have to go through it all.
Yeah, but sure. So, but this actually coincides with the break-even example that we have. So if we go over to community strategies, you'll be able to copy this right here, break-even example, and that video will show you how to set it up. But yeah, so this is an example, and actually as I go forward with the builder and the module system, break-even will really just become a module. This is an example of rules if we want to look at the break-even, and this is why I did the detailed as well, so that it really breaks down why I did this and how I did this, right? And so really we have the same rules that we do in the generic template. So I made a generic TradingView template, and it just does long and short. It's a combo template, so it can do long or short. It flips back and forth depending on what alert it hears, and then it can exit based on the opposite signal, right? And so this is what it's made to do, and that's without break even, right? And so with this break even example, I added a couple extra. I added a variable, and then I added a couple extra actions, and then I added 2 more rules to make the break even work, right? And so I explained that all in the video, how that works. But this is to say that this is just adding rules and actions, and in what we should be doing is creating a module where I just share the module, and then you plug this module into your strategy, and it sets it up for you, so you don't have to set up 5 different rules or extra actions or whatever else, right? So this is an example right now of how to do it, and if you wanted to add it to a strategy right now, you would have to come in here and set up rules like this. What's the next question?
Trying to figure out a way to pull like the realized P&L from the exchange? Is there an action that I can do with the rule builder to pull, like, I know right now if I use profit, it pulls the unrealized profit of the trade, but is there an option in there that will pull the realized profit? Or is that something I'll have to probably calculate?
Well, yes, I could. The thing that I'm worried about is that not every exchange does this in the same way. Some exchanges will give you a daily value. Some exchanges will give you the total value on that symbol. Some exchanges only give you a 6-hour window instead of a 24-hour window. I don't know why, but I've seen that. And so my whole thing is I don't know. I just don't know what window people want. And really, they only give me one window. So what you get is what you get. Now, it's probably the same realized that you see on their portal. And so as long as it matches what you're used to for your exchange, it probably shouldn't matter. Although it does make me worry about sharing different strategies with math based on this number, which might be different between different exchanges. And if somebody uses it on a different exchange, when it was set up for realized profit on Bybit instead of Binance, right? So that's something that I'm still looking. I've thought about that, and I think we talked about it before. But that's one of the things that I'm just weary about. I want to make sure I don't confuse people and do it right. And so, open to suggestions there, but that's basically the problem I'm facing.
Okay.
So,
I had a cool idea the other day. I thought this might appeal to some of the other, like, e-commerce people or DCA people, but would it be possible to have, like, in your rule builder, the ability to do like a JSON text file and have it send, like, or have TradeLab be an orchestrator for other bots and other platforms that receive webhooks? You can use it for example, I used to automate my DCA bots with TradingView alerts. I built, like, indicators and do things on, like, a higher time level, like, say a daily chart or weekly chart. And then I would basically orchestrate my other bots, turn off, like, a long DCA bot, turn on a short DCA bot, stuff like that. But I was thinking TradeLab would do a much better job of that, because you could build specific rules around it, and then you would be able to basically build the JSON that you're sending out to the other bot and have it build a dynamic JSON for it to send via webhook.
Sure, yeah, I get what you're saying. So if you had a bot that you really liked somewhere and you just wanted to automate that, it would be kind of silly, but yeah, no,
it's kind of, you can do way more with TradeLab.
Sure.
That might help. That might help get you into the other I guess, realms.
No, I get that. But there is a use case for it just in general. So I've talked about this. This is something that is in the roadmap. It is a REST API action. So right now we take in webhooks, right? But as an action, what I want to do is whenever something runs and I can select an action, I would just say, API, run API. And I would put in a URL of what I want to send, and I would tell it if it's a GET or a POST or whatever, and then I could send information to whatever. In your case, it would be Alertatron or something else, 3 commas. But it could also be, I want to increment information on some other dashboard system. I want to send an event to Google Analytics. I want to, connect this to if this, then that. I want to send you could probably send out a tweet if you connect it to a different, I haven't set up outbound tweets yet because it's difficult to get permission certain things, but there are long-standing systems out there that probably have APIs that you could just hit an API call and say, I want to send this tweet, and it would send a tweet out of that service, right? So sending APIs are going to be a huge deal, for just being able to hit anything. There are some security issues to take into account, and that's why it's not a simple project, but it is something that we're working on, or I'm working towards. So that, I think, will be a big deal. And the one limitation there is that we can't really get information. I mean, I guess we could, but, and this is something I've thought about, it's a whole nother rabbit hole of like, we can post information and send it somewhere, but trying to get information, we would have to like, so you're talking about getting an alert or maybe on a heartbeat. And that's the other thing. How do you limit? There would have to be an API limit on it for hitting things on heartbeat, which is something I've looked into. But long story short, if you end up hitting an API and you, like, say I got an alert and then I hit a rule on that alert that gave me an action that told me to hit an API, I could make it go out and get information and then store that in a variable, right? But to do that, I would also have to attach a parser. And that's one of the reasons why I've made the parser stuff beforehand. That was actually supposed to come way later down the line. And I made it beforehand because I started realizing that there's some other things that I want to build on top of that, such as these API actions and some other stuff with the builder. That, I just wanted it to be all integrated, and that way we can break, we should be able to make a get call somewhere and get information, get a list of tweets, of course I got this built in anyway, but get something like that and then parse it ourselves, right? However we need to. The parser, I know Travis started using it. So far, I think it's gonna work for basic needs. I do know that, just using simple delimiters and stuff, it's limited in what it can parse in, in different harder situations. So that may evolve as we go, but we do have that out there. So if nobody's seen that, you can come into Alert Utilities and create an alert parser. And you would type in a sample message here and test. So you can have multiple messages. And then you would select your field. So you would select your alert template, whatever. And this is your webhook URL, right? A lot of people just have one, but you might have a couple. So you select whatever you want. This will pop up your fields. You should be familiar with, whatever David Tech fields or fields that you have. And then you'll see here, like, if I want to do type, I would select this and it'll highlight. If I want to do symbol, I would select this and it'll highlight. And then it's building up my alerts. So it'll show you what this one does. If I click next, it'll show you what the next line does. And you can break these lines based off of spaces, or you can also do your own delimiters. So I believe Travis had one that was spaced with pipes. So I could add in a pipe. If I put space, pipe, space, then that will really break it up so that it's, I think if I go grab whatever Travis had, I think he was sending it to me in general. Maybe he sent it to me in, yeah, here it is. So right here, we'll put these in right here. And so now we can see that with space, pipe, space, it's broken it apart into these nice little things. Now we still have the colon. I could make a colon a delimiter as well, with a space in front of it just to break it up even more. Because you can see that we have, this broken down. So if we do it like this, now we're really, you know, breaking it apart. But these are still together, and we want it separated into 3 parts. So if I delete space, I still have that bug. Gosh darn it. And I should have even known that too. Okay. I'll have to fix that. I thought I did I thought I did. Maybe that's not pushed. Okay. Anyway, but you can see some of the possibilities with the alert parser. You can connect this to an alert template. Then anything going through that alert template, if it's not automatically JSON, we'll make it JSON using your parser. Right. So that's how you set up parsers. We also have plugins. So if you wanted to set up Twitter, this is the one that we have set up right now. These 2 are coming soon. If you wanted to set up Twitter, you would plug in a Twitter handle, and it would go out and get the information for you. And you'd be able to build your parser that way. I did look at Twitter, and I did see that they might be trying to make us pay for how much we use it or something, because I did see that we hit some sort of limit. It wasn't like a rate limit. It was like a limit of like how much you can use a month, which is like, okay, well, so what developer type of package do I need? But I'll take a look at that. So anyway, that's where we are right now. That covers the rest of the news and everything else. Any other questions? Hey, welcome. So it looks like we got a full house here. So we've heard from Travis, and we've heard from Old Rebel. Looks like you guys are doing well. Travis showed us his profit earlier, which was real awesome. Good to see that. So that was great. That was in the last week or 3 weeks on a 2K budget. So not bad. We've also had like crazy events happen in the past couple of weeks. So, but on our roadmap, during these calls, I like to bring up our roadmap to show everybody. So here is our roadmap, and the segue into this with the roadmap is that I am doing a. Come on, man. I am doing a overhaul of the sharing system. So right now we have a pretty basic sharing system. Everything is public. If you share it, it goes into community strategies. Community strategies doesn't even have a search bar. You just scroll. And it's actually got quite a bit of data on it. So it takes a little bit to load smoothly. So this is something that's definitely getting overhauled. And in addition to just the UI overhaul, it's going to also include not just sharing strategies, but also sharing alert templates, so that you could basically create your own webhook, send a package of alerts, set up your alerts in TradingView, send those, and sell those alerts basically, right? And when I say sell, I mean, we're not just going to be able to share your alerts and your strategies and your modules, by the way. So the 3 things: alerts, strategies, modules. Not just going to be able to share. You're going to be able to privately share as well. So that's the first step that we're taking, is just like TradingView, we're going to be doing private sharing. And that allows people to, basically monetize it themselves, right? You can create a Discord and say, hey, I'll invite you if you pay me. You can set it up however you want. So that allows custom monetization. Eventually, the goal of TradeLab is to create a marketplace, so that we are literally just the place that you come, you buy, you sell. People can make money off of what they do, and that's the eventual goal. So wanted to mention that as far as sharing and how sharing is currently working. It's rather simple, but we're expanding it. So back to the roadmap here. The roadmap, you can see that I'm working on the builder right now, working on modules. This really long thing is NLP, that's natural language processing. That's actually for our bot that's going on in the background. That'll eventually be able, that the goal is so that you'll have like a little companion that you can talk to. You'll like chat with him, and he'll give you recommendations on different rules or tweaks to a strategy to make it perform better. This is really the precursor work. This whole long bar is like a bunch of research and precursor work just to get one small part of that bigger thing going on. And that bigger project relies a lot on backtesting and TradeLab integration. And I don't know, I can't remember exactly where I put this. So trading chart, definitely. I don't know if I've put a bar in here for the TradeLab. But the TradeLab is coming around December, January. I'll be working on TradeLab integration. At that point, we'll be taking in information directly from the exchange as far as the pricing data. We already are starting to do that, and I actually already have a trading chart that I'm probably going to put on the testnet to give you guys a little bit of a teaser as to what that might look like a chart that I can actually plot the alerts on and the entries and the exits, and so that you can see everything inside of TradeLab. I'm actually going to put that on the testnet a lot sooner, but it probably isn't going to get a whole lot of love and really wrapped up until sometime in October, November. Going past that, we'll be looking at TradeLab, and that is basically going to be taking the pricing information and then breaking up that pricing information into RSI, ATR, ADX, anything else that you need, your EMAs, and setting up basically a library of different basic technicals, right? Your basic indicators. So then you can use those as building blocks, and you no longer need to use alerts. So not that I'm sitting here trying to replace TradingView, but you could eventually feasibly create an entire strategy on trading or TradeLab and never have to send an alert from TradingView, and you would have you could eventually stop paying TradingView and just use TradeLab in the sense that you wouldn't need it for the bot, right? You might still want to use it for other things, but that's where we're going towards long term, towards the end of the year. I have a lot of stuff even planned past that, right? But just trying to get to the end of the year here soon, and then we'll go from there. As I am trying to mention every update, I didn't mention it so far. We are planning to release soon. Release is a soft statement. I'm going to be finishing the builder and testing it in July, and then by August, I want to quote unquote release, which means we will start taking subscriptions, and the main part of the site is MVP, minimum viable product ready, and I'm ready to take money for it and let people use it. When it comes to the builder, I will have just redone the entire builder and had maybe 1 month to test it. So I'm not going to call the builder done. That's going to be one small part of it, of the whole program that'll be in beta, right? So the builder will still be in beta, and additionally, I'll still have the old builders. So if there are any weird issues or whatever, you'll be able to use what we already have. Okay. So there's that. Talking about subscriptions, what does that look like? Are you going to have to pay? How expensive is that? First off, you don't have to pay. We're going to have a free version. The free version, everybody likes to write off free versions. It's like, oh, that's not going to be enough for me, and then they look at the prices and they might see $70 or $80 is a little bit more expensive than some others, and then straight up jump to Pro, right, for unlimited $200 a month. So one thing I wanted to cover real quick about the pricing is the way these tiers work. I'm going to create a chart that sort of lists out all of the different features. But the reason I want to do that is because on that chart, I want to show that all of these tiers have all the features. So free, for free, you're getting everything that Pro is getting. You're getting all the features, all the power, anything that you want. The only restriction is you can only have 2 trades open at one particular time, right? And I also, of course, limit how many alerts that you can send. Now, even with that, there's still some things that happen in the background that if you send me over this amount of alerts, I'll still end up processing them to a certain extent. Because of some other things that we got to take care of as far as syncing and keeping your strategy synced, right, over time. But so there's a lot of leeway in this is what I'm saying. In addition to just that leeway, I say you can have 6 strategies, right? So most people might be thinking, well, if I can do a combo strategy, then that means I can have 6 symbols. Actually, I can show you, and I will make a video before I release this, showing you how you can watch 40 different symbols and only use 3 strategies. You have a strategy that looks for everything, receives information, and then can spit out 2 other strategies that will actually do the 2 active trades at any given time. So I just wanted to show that this should be expansive, and it really should cover a lot of people. And the 2 active trades should be just enough to be like, hey, I want a little bit more, and that's why we have the tiers, right? I need a little bit of something to get you, but I've been fighting. You guys. There's been a couple people, Hurrah, and some other people who can attest. I've been fighting to keep this, and we'll see how long we can keep this. If it'll get abused or whatever else, But I think that this is a great way to get people in. It's a great way. There's a lot of almost all the other smaller bots have, with the exception of Alertatron, have a free plan, right? So I wanna sort of meet that, and I want to exceed it. I mean, we're doing so much more. One bot, you can have 6 with us, right? And I'm not trying to point anybody out or anything like that, but I did want to cover that, and I also wanted to say that our particular bot is actually on a sort of different level than the 3 bots that you'll see here. So 3 commas, Crypto Hopper, Alertatron. This also includes Wonderbit and some other fairly simple bots. When they can do a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to devalue them, but what I am saying is one of the biggest differences is multiple confirmations and being able to save information over time so that you can have 2 or 3 different alerts come in and you're not placing orders. You're just taking in information and deciding, right? And then when that 4th alert comes in and everything lines up, you can finally place an order, right? With Alertatron, from everything that I've seen and many other, especially 3 commas and others, you send an alert, they usually are going to place an order. I mean, that's why you're sending an alert. I haven't seen a whole lot of other, functionality like that. And so when we start talking about that, there's other competitors that we do have. We're not the only rule-based, game out there, but our rules are much or even deeper. So CoinRule they claim to have rules, but all of these rules are basically from TradeLab, which is what I'm integrating later on. And so they don't take in alerts like we do. They use TradeLab and it's all built in, and you do it like this. But the build your own rule, it's not exactly the way that we're doing it, right? It's sort of it's simplified, right? And that's good in a certain way, but it also can mean that you get stuck when you're trying to set certain things up. Also, Coin Rule ends up to be more expensive than us. If you take off annual pricing, they're $500 a month, and they only give you 50 rules for that. It's not even unlimited. One other thing I wanted to point out was Haas Online. These guys are actually super amazing. They let you do node programming, which is a lot more complicated than a lot of people want to put up with. But if you want to get really complicated, they're cool, right? Problem is with the pricing.
Expensive.
Yeah, well, not only can they be expensive right now, it's like super cheap because Bitcoin is really way down, right? So if you look at Bitcoin, with this amount, it would be $795 that's a whole year of their advanced, unrestricted. So that's actually pretty cheap, guys. Okay, so divided by 12, you're talking 66 for their Pro. Okay, now that's also because Bitcoin is at half of what it used to be. If this was a couple months ago, times 2, you'd be looking at 132. But that's still cheaper than us, right? And they're like super amazing. They have like the node stuff. So like this is amazing, right? Why isn't everybody using Hatspot? Here's the catch. The catch is they're not even a service. You're paying all that money for the software. And then they give you this, yes, they give you this $100 VPS credit that you have to go to DigitalOcean and set up your own server. They'll try to help you. They have a little package tutorial to try to help you. But when that goes down or you have problems or you need to upgrade, it's on you, right? It's not really like a service like we do that host everything. You have to, and then so on top of this money that you're paying, you have to pay for your server every month, right? So the price goes up. And so I just wanted to point out, we did have a discussion about the price and everything, and I bend over backwards to try to, make everybody happy, right? But I do want to just, I wanted to put it out there and get it out there that like I'm trying to make this the best offer that I can. And I think that once you actually understand and compare it, it actually really is a good offer. And so that's, but I'm also willing to take more feedback, and I want to hear what you guys think and take that into account. One thing that I will say about our prices is that they are padded in such a way where we can grow in the way that we want. I probably could take down the price a little bit in terms of skimming the line of how much we need for servers, but then that wouldn't allow me to scale and get more servers and do what we need to as we grow. Basically, you charge a little bit more than you need so that you can pay for the stuff before you need it. Because if I'm just getting the money when the customers come, then I didn't have enough time or money to set it up, and now we're looking at server outages because I have an influx of users that are just now paying, right? And I'm just now getting the money. So that's the forensics behind pricing a product like this and how my mind is working. Trying to be very open, transparent, and if anybody has any questions about it, let me know, and I'm sure we can figure something out. So. Any questions there? I'll leave this.
I think once you get TradLab integrated, this is going to be untouchable because it does have all the functionality that like all these other platforms have combined. So it's definitely a different level.
And I think the more people you get in, right? I mean, it's like anything. Your prices will go down, right? I mean.
Right, and that's what I kept saying too, is like the way that I figured this out, like I feel like if anything, I can just lower the prices as we go, but like right now, I needs to be priced this way so that I can sort of rank myself up, right?
Right, and I mean, everybody has to make a living.
Sure, right. The main thing is, guys, I need so much help. I just want to get to a point where I can bring somebody on and pay them a fair amount and get some help. You know what I mean? So I already have so many community members. Hurrah has been bending over backwards for free to like, do little
Jake,
things here and there. So.
This is a great concept, and this is amazing how you're making it. I mean, and you make it so easy. You're the liaisons to make everything go. I mean, Jesus, I could do everything in bed right now, trading. So yeah, I mean, be quiet. So this is like easy, so easy. So yeah, your price is like it's nothing a month.
I think I could pay the entire year in a day's worth of profits. You know, so it's like what's I mean, it's not even a thing really. Once you get it going, it pays for itself.
Right.
Well, I mean, I can go out and drink. I could drink this. So.
Right. I'm sure
I mean,
you could. I'm sure you could.
It's very true, brother. Very true.
All right. So, is there any other TradeLab related business? Is anybody having any problems? I know I've talked to Soso. It looks like we've lost a couple people, and I'm sure that they probably got what they needed. But I know I talked to Soso. I know I talked to Travis. I know I talked to Old Rebel. I know I talked to Draw. And Old Jake, I know that we've talked, but you were having issues. Did we ever figure, like, where are you at right now?
No. I've got it figured out. Okay. It's just the indicator that's giving me trouble. I mean, it's
that's right.
Maybe. I mean, that's all there is to it. You know, any indicator you do, you always have to babysit it. I mean, you can't just let it go and do its thing.
No,
I mean, that's all.
Yeah, definitely. Right. So, okay, well. Good deal. That concludes the majority here. I think I'll go ahead and shut off the stream unless anybody had anything else. We can continue talking, but I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. All right, and so that's going to be the end of the weekly updates. Appreciate everybody watching. If you have any more questions, you can always join us for one of these on our Discord. You can also click the help button at the bottom of any page, and you can search any questions. So if you wanted to know where our Discord is, you just search Discord. I should probably make one that just says, hey, like, this is our Discord. But we do have one like, do you provide education? There's a Discord link in here, right? So there's a couple different ways to get to the Discord. There's also a page or also a link on the homepage, like our home main page at the landing page. So anyway, if you have any questions, you can create a support ticket or ask questions to the help button. Appreciate you watching. Subscribe for more updates and have a good one.